Have you ever wondered if skipping breakfast before your morning run could actually help you burn more fat? According to the CDC, as of 2021, approximately 40.3% of adults in the United States are considered obese. Many individuals engage in diets, supplements, and exercises in order to lower this number and improve their lifestyle. Today, I will inform you guys about one of these exercises known as fasted cardio and its pros and cons. Put simply, fasted cardio is when one engages in cardiovascular exercise, such as running, cycling, or walking on an empty stomach, usually right after waking up in the morning. Fasted cardio has been around since the caveman days, back when these individuals would go days on end without food, hunting their game. However, fasted cardio was popularized by Bill Philip in 1999 in his book, Body for Life. Philip argued that after a long period without food, the body's glycogen stores are depleted. Exercising during this time forces the body to use stored fat for fuel, leading to a greater loss of fat. Where is this glycogen stored? This glycogen is stored in our liver. Although after a fun Saturday night, most of us would hate our liver as it creates acetaldehyde, which is the main chemical that causes our hangover symptoms, our liver is essential in nutrient metabolism. 0 to 4 hours after eating, we are in what's considered a fed state. The liver uses glucose from our recent meal and stores excess glucose from this meal as glycogen. 4 to 16 hours after eating, we are in early fasting. The liver starts breaking down the stored glycogen from our previous meal to maintain blood sugar. As these glycogen stores are depleted, the liver now begins to break down fat. 16 to 24 hours, we are in prolonged fasting. The liver now relies heavily on fat for fuel. The liver now converts fatty acids into ketone bodies, which can be used by the brain and muscle for energy. Thus, the liver plays an important role in fasted cardio. Now that we know where this fat that we use as fuel in the fasted state comes from, let's go into the positives of using this fat as fuel. According to a study by Horowitz et al. Found in the American Journal of Physiology, the benefits of using fat as our primary energy source include longer lasting energy supply and enhanced mitochondrial function. Fat has more energy stored per gram compared to carbohydrates. 1 gram of fat contains 9 calories, while 1 gram of carbohydrates contains 4 calories. Thus, fat holds over twice as much energy as carbs. We can think of fat as a big gas tank compared to the smaller gas tank of carbs. Thus, the bigger gas tank will take us farther down the road. Now, how does fat usage enhance mitochondrial function? Fat oxidation happens in the mitochondria. Fatty acids can only be turned into usable energy inside the mitochondria. The mitochondria, as we all know, is the power plant of our cells. It produces ATP, which is our energy. The more we rely on fat for energy, the more pressure we place on this mitochondria to perform efficiently. So when you consistently train in a state that uses fat, your body adapts by improving mitochondrial performance. Thus, we create efficient mitochondria. These newly fit mitochondria produce fewer radicals, which can damage cells and can cause things like cancer, and the mitochondria become better at burning fat and producing ATP more efficiently. Training with fat as fuel also increases the mitochondria number we have. This means more ATP and thus more energy. Although the benefits of using fat due to exercising in a fasted state sound exciting, we must also acknowledge the cons associated with fasted cardio, the main one being a hormone produced by our body. Cortisol is a hormone produced by the adrenal glands in the body. It is a hormone that helps one respond to stress and maintains essential functions like metabolism and blood pressure. Cortisol levels peak in the morning as we are in a fasted state when we wake up. Exercise, which is a stressor, raises cortisol levels as well. Thus, when one is fasting and exercising, they increase the levels of cortisol more than if they had eaten beforehand. Although cortisol isn't bad on its own, the issues arise when one is chronically exposed to these high levels of cortisol. According to 2 articles, Impact of Cortisol on Reduction in Muscle Strength and Mass and Long-Term Consequences of Cushing Syndrome, chronic exposure to higher levels of cortisol lead to lower lean body mass and cognitive and mood impairment. When cortisol levels stay elevated for too long, one's body enters a catabolic state. This is a state where our own body breaks down tissue for energy. One loses lean body mass, muscle, and organ tissue, not just fat in this state. How do high levels of cortisol affect the brain? Cortisol can cross the blood-brain barrier and bind to receptors in several key brain regions such as the hippocampus and prefrontal cortex. When cortisol levels are chronically elevated, these areas become overstimulated and damaged, leading to cognitive and emotional effects. Chronic cortisol elevation also alters the balance of neurotransmitters such as serotonin and dopamine. This imbalance can lead to increased anxiety, depression, and irritability. The act of fasting and coupling this with cardio can be beneficial to the body in many aspects. However, it can also lead to negative outcomes that can damage one's body. Thus, before skipping breakfast and picking up your running shoes, I hope I informed you about the positives and negatives of the activity you are about to engage in.